The Bulls had the 12th best record in the league, the 6th best record in the East, and the 20th best net rating last season. They're coming off a pretty encouraging season where they were right near the top of the East for a large portion of the season. Now, they did tail off towards the end, and the Bucks proved to be just too much for them to handle in the first round of the playoffs. But progress is progress. This draft pick could be another opportunity for them to bolster their roster and really challenge the upper tier of teams in the East. So, who are they likely to select? Well, I've scoured the internet for mock drafts to gain information and selected 4 players I think have a chance to be selected by them, and I'm going to give you some info on them. So without any further dilly-dallying, let's get into it. Let's start with E.J. Liddell out of Ohio State University. This would be a dream situation for the Bulls. I think Liddell would be an ideal fit on this roster. The Bulls were the 3rd worst rebounding team in the league. Liddell was in the top 10 for rebounding rates in the Big Ten this past season. The Bulls were also in the top 3rd in the league for blocks and overall defense. Also, nobody in the Bulls averaged more than a block per game, which is crazy. Liddell should offer great rim protection from the forward positions and should offer some good floor stretching as well, as he's now had 2 seasons of at least decent 3-point shooting. He does offer some shot creation potential and post game too. The big downside with Liddell is his age and upside, but the other side of that coin is that he should be able to contribute almost immediately. Pat Williams and DeRozan would probably be the starting forwards, but I still think he'll get good minutes off the bench. Next up, let's talk about Tari Eason out of LSU. As mentioned earlier, the Bulls need help on the defensive end, and Eason can provide that. He averaged a monstrous 7 stocks, that's steal plus blocks, per 100. He's a lengthy and athletic wing who could probably switch 2 through 4. He's great at anticipating and getting stuck in passing lanes, and his athleticism should offer the Bulls some additional rim protection. I'm less confident in his jumper than I am in Liddell's, but his athleticism is better and I think he projects as a more versatile defender. Early on, I'd expect him to provide a transition threat, and if the shot translates, some shooting. As he develops, I could see him attacking the defense more off the catch and off handoffs. Like Liddell, I think he'd probably have a bench role early on, but I think with time, he'll earn more minutes. Next up, let's talk about Kendall Brown out of Baylor. Brown was a really highly touted prospect coming into his year at Baylor, but his stock has been on a nosedive for much of the season. The tools are still there though. He's a great athlete, is long and strong, and is a nice finisher inside. The 3-point efficiency wasn't bad at all also. What's the issue, you may ask? Well, it's the sheer lack of any aggression. He was very hesitant to take shots, let alone create anything for himself. While the efficiency of his threes was good, the volume was terribly low, and the jumper isn't the smoothest. The thing is, I believe that these are improvements he can definitely make. He will need time, and I think it will take at least 2 years for him to become a serious contributor. But when the time does come, I think he could be exactly the guy every GM dreams about drafting. I know the Bulls are looking to compete now, but I think he could be worth the wait. Finally, let's talk about Ochai Agbaji. I know the guard positions are pretty stacked for the Bulls, assuming they bring Zach LaVine back. With that being said though, the Bulls really need some shooting. They shot the least threes per game in the league last season. Agbaji can really help with that. He's an elite off-ball shooting prospect, and I believe he can become part of the upper tier of shooters off the ball in the league. He's a solid defender as well, and can handle the ball a little too. There's not much upside there, but he will definitely be able to contribute sooner rather than later. How he fits would be a concern, and running 3 guard lineups with DeRozan at the 4 might be a problem defensively. Still, I think his skill set would be really useful with the Bulls.